Michelle, so nice to see you again. What have you eaten today?
Oh, let's see. I just finished snacking on some blackberries and strawberries.
Nice.
I like my fruit room temperature.
Yeah, because they're juicier and the flavor is better because when things are cold, the flavors are muted, right?
Yeah. Oh, well, that's exactly what it is. And I also don't like the chill in my mouth unless it's like winter, summertime and it's piping hot. But yeah, I had that. And then this morning, what did I have? I had two scrambled eggs with fresh tomato and a dollop of ricotta cheese.
Sounds great. Sounds like you're really doing it.
I am. And I'm very conscious of the fasting now.
Tell me about that.
So I was doing it anyway. Husband and I stopped eating like by 4:30, 5 o'clock. I tell people I've just finished eating dinner and they're like, what? I'm like, yeah, because I feel better when I'm not going to lay down, relax, or going to bed with a full belly. So,
right.
Yeah, it's finishing at about 4:30, and then purposely not starting to eat anything unless unusual things happen by about 9 o'clock in the morning, 8:30, 9 o'clock.
So you're getting your 16, 17 hours, yeah?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. And so are you noticing that you're feeling a lot better doing it that way?
Well, I've noticed because I've been home since COVID, the whole thing, I've noticed that we started eating earlier anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I noticed a difference since then. It's just, I don't feel as sluggish in the morning.
Right.
Definitely clearer, and just that pain of discomfort when you're going to sleep, laying down with a full stomach or whatever.
Right.
Yeah. When I worked in the city, I started dinner at 6:30, 7 o'clock. So we weren't finished eating dinner till 7:30 at night.
Yeah. I used to be
Yeah.
very continental myself, but nowadays, as you get older and when you're doing intermittent fasting and you want to keep things inside of a certain window, you just do things the way that it's more comfortable, right?
Yeah. And I find that sometimes in the morning, you would think that after 16, 17 hours of not eating that you would be famished. But I found that by 8:30, 9 o'clock, in many situations, I'm like, okay, oh yeah, I should eat something now because I could feel like my energy is drooping a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't feel like, oh my gosh, let me shove everything in my mouth.
It's funny when you're eating a good diet that's typically lower in carbs than the standard American diet, the SAD diet, you find that you don't feel as hungry as fast. Like in the old days when you'd eat, the old thing was, and this is not the racist thing, but you'd eat Chinese food and then in an hour later you'd feel hungry again.
Oh, yeah.
Because of the carbs, because of the sugars that are happening. It's like you start to get droopy and drowsy and then you have to eat something to kind of perk yourself up again.
Yeah.
But when you're eating well, like you are, you don't feel that anymore.
Yeah, when I have protein first thing in the morning for whatever time that is, when I have protein, it lasts a lot longer than, and I do eat cereal from time to time.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have cereal, but then an hour and a half later, I'm looking for, okay, what's next?
Right. Yeah, I think that's very standard.
Exactly.
So tell everybody a little bit about Hartmetrics and what you're up to and what you do, what kind of courses through your veins as far as the work life, the work side of Michelle.
Yeah, sure. So thanks for asking. So Hartmetrics was founded in 2021 out of a pivot shift from being in the travel industry for many, many years. I just took all the skills that I had been doing. So a lot of mentorship, leadership development, and career development, helping people navigate through some of the roadblocks, imposter syndrome. We help people with interview prep and just kind of putting a light on them as to where their real talents are. So on the leadership side, I work with solopreneurs. They have a great business, but it's just that they need a little insight. They may need somebody else to kind of give them a vision that they haven't seen.
Mm-hmm.
And just, a lot of questions to say, have you thought of this? And like that. So that's what I've been doing for the last 2 years. And it's been great. It's taking all the skills that I did in my corporate America job and then applying it to my clients today.
I see. So you don't, I notice that you hesitate to call yourself a coach, which I think is really refreshing and very cool right now. So you're doing so many great things without putting that label of coach on it. Which it
Yeah,
seems like everywhere you look, left and right, you have kids who are 20
yeah,
years old trying to teach us that.
exactly. And I think the thing, I had a great mentor when I was getting my certifications, and she said something that really stood out for me. She says, I see you more as consultant first and then coach. And I said, yes, because sometimes coaches, it's a great way to work with somebody, but they're looking for answers. And sometimes I ask permission of my clients to say, are you okay with having some feedback or answers, as
Hmm.
opposed to helping them dig for their own solutions?
Right, right. Oh, that sounds very valuable.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, how do you market yourself and your services?
Um, I spend a lot of time on LinkedIn,
Hmm.
um, a lot of word of mouth. I'm not, fortunately and unfortunately, I'm not a big fan of lead gen and, the whole sales approach like that. People promising you the star, sun, and moon that they can get you all these appointments, and then what?
Right.
Um, so I spend a lot of time on LinkedIn, some other social media sites. I am a podcaster, so I do interview some amazing people. And so, through that and word of mouth, that's how I've gotten a few of my clients. They've recommended somebody who's then recommended somebody else, that kind of thing.
Hmm. A lot of people are getting onto the whole podcast circuit and
Yeah,
being able to do the networking this way, the way that we are. We're
yeah,
separated by a couple of miles, right?
just a few.
And here we are. We can have our coffee together and
That's right.
discuss what's going on.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
And, I didn't look at podcasting as a way to drum up business, because there's a whole science to that. But what I did do it for is to meet people and to learn about the topics that are important to me, and to hear people's inspiring stories, because that helps in the value that I bring to my clients.
Right, right, right. So are you working with any interesting people right now who have issues that are a little bit different than the rest of us that you could
I
share,
Yeah, I
Lisa?
do have a
Uh-huh.
client he's so smart and he's really good at what he does. He's a perfectionist to some degree. But what I like is that he's open to what he doesn't know, or what he's not maybe comfortable with.
Hmm.
Sometimes you get people like, absolutely not, I'm not doing that, or whatever. Open to ideas. You can have somebody who is vulnerable in that space. It's really rewarding to be able to kind of put the spotlight on them and see other pieces of their personality and their skills that they would not have recognized on their own.
Yeah,
Make sense?
the brightest and the best of
Yeah.
us are the people who listen
Right.
and can
Right.
really absorb and are willing to kind of put their ego aside and
Oh
take
yeah.
the good information in, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I did a speaking engagement a couple of weeks ago, and it was really amazing. There was over 340 people on the Zoom call, and
Wow.
we talked about core competencies of leadership. And what I did was set it up as managing versus coaching as a leader.
Hmm.
Something that I feel there is that shift. There are those conversations that are being had, but how much really happens when they're in the trenches
Yeah.
versus what's lip service, or what is just the window dressing, if you will,
You can have
Um,
bad skills, but if you don't know how to delegate the authority, it's not going to go anywhere, right?
that's right. That's right. And you could be a so-so person, but if you have the right leader who can nurture you, you can become pretty amazing. And I think
Hmm.
that's where sometimes people then fall into the imposter syndrome, because they haven't been mentored, they haven't been nurtured correctly, or that they don't have enough confidence to kind of reach out and get the answers that they need to help skill themselves up.
Do you think that you appeal mostly to educated, talented, and experienced types, or people who are trying to find their center? Or is there some sort of a good combination of the two?
It's a good combination of both. I have people who are very educated. I've had clients who've had PhDs who, they've needed help. I have entrepreneurs that are pretty successful in their own right. And then you have those who have had side hustles, which has been
Hmm.
a really great space that I like. They have a part-time job or a full-time job. Maybe it's just to pay the bills. It's
Yeah.
just to survive, but their side hustle is their real passion. And so helping them recognize how they can stand it up as a business where they can be successful. I just had someone recently send me the email. It was a great way to start the week. She says, I finally gave notice because now I have enough of my side hustle that it's become her full business. So
That's great.
yeah, it was really it was quite rewarding. She's a very poised person, and when she said, I can finally tell them take this job and shove it, I was like, oh, wasn't expecting that, but yeah, it was pretty great. So
That is really super. Like some of the things that have come out of the post-COVID days here with the side hustles and the gig economy and the
yeah,
ability to do this and work remotely. I
yeah.
think those are some of the nice ways to kind of structure and shape this world that we're in right now, because a lot of these things really didn't exist with the kind of same energy that they do now.
Yeah, absolutely. There was two articles. I think one was Forbes, the other one was Wall Street Journal or something like that. One of them was about a 4-day work week. Actually, I
Hmm.
have it here. It's testing 4-day work week. Companies say they don't want to stop.
Oh,
So giving people that fifth day off to do what they need to do. And so will that help people do continue to grow their side hustles? And then the other article that I just read today briefly was all about side hustles and people accepting part-time jobs so that they can do the things that they love to do or that gives them joy. And that's some of the things that I do with clients. It's like your job, if you need your job to pay your bills to survive, keep that. But if you're not happy and in this economy and you're a little bit nervous about making that shift,
hmm.
if they're not knocking on your door, then do something else that brings you joy so that at least it's a balance.
Oh, yeah. It seems like, America is always the last to the party as far as the developed countries. In Europe, haven't they been working 4-day work weeks or 36-hour weeks for a long, long time? And we're just getting
Yeah,
around to it now.
yeah, yeah. I mean, when you think about it in the Caribbean, years ago when I used to go and visit family, my aunt and uncle, my uncle, because my aunt did not work, he would leave the house at 7:30 in the morning. He was back by 12 and he would have lunch with us, this big lunch, lots of carbs because then he was sleeping afterwards.
Hey,
But
there
he
you
would
go.
hang out with us till about 4 in the afternoon. And then he would take a nap, get up, shower, and go back to work till about 7 or 8 o'clock at night. And
That's
then it was,
changing, though, I
it
think,
is
right? That
changing.
the whole split shift thing is really
Yeah.
changing in Europe because they found that really people would end up devoting 16, 17 hours to their job,
Yeah.
even though they'd have a little break to see their family, come home, take a nap, fall
Yeah.
asleep, or whatever.
Yeah.
So they've just kind of shortened their work day, it appears.
Yeah. And I wonder how much work gets done when you shorten it. But I think it's the perception that if you have the time off,
Hmm.
no one says you can't do things in bite size. I mean, even myself as a solopreneur, I will then, if I take a break at 4 in the afternoon, or if I have something else to do, 5:30, 6 o'clock, I'll go back on. And that time of doing stuff when everybody's really kind of shut down for the day or whatever, you can get so much done
Oh,
just
yeah.
having an hour or two later in the evening.
For those of us who work for ourselves, it's a
Yeah.
pleasure. And we end up working way more than a
Yeah.
8-hour day anyway, or a
Yeah.
40-hour week. I mean, forget about it. When I was running the Hawaii food tours, I was working constantly, answering all
Yeah.
the phones and doing all the computer stuff and handling all the employees. And same thing with you. I'm sure it's like you're always working, but it's your baby.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. You're always on, but you can answer when you want. You can schedule yourself to make sure that you are, at least staying on top of things,
Hmm.
but not like when you're in corporate America where you're doing 40, 60 hours a work week. Gone are
Yeah.
those days, I think, but we'll see.
Where will your next destination be when you travel? And when will that be, do you think?
Oh, we were just talking about that recently. I'm not sure. I think we're going to go local stateside east, which would be just a quick jaunt to either the islands or the Caribbean islands or
Hmm.
Florida. We're just not sure yet. It's been a while, but we're definitely starting to dream about it.
So where are you based right now?
I'm in northern New Jersey.
You're in Jersey. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So for me to get to either Florida or the Caribbean is, we're not too far from the airport, and so then there's a lot of nonstop flights out of Newark Airport.
Right, right. So it seems like maybe you're a beach girl, a shore
Oh
girl.
yes, I was
Yeah.
born in the summer. My mother was a school teacher, so we spent a lot of time at the beach in Long Island. And we
Right,
grew up
right.
in New York. Yeah, and then vacations was always someplace warm. So
Nice. Oh,
yeah,
that sounds really fantastic. Well,
yeah.
you're speaking to an old Syosset boy here.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, yeah. So, we got that New York thing going.
Exactly, except that somehow you've lost yours, but you must have been out of New York for quite a while now, right?
Yeah, family moved away when I was 10, and the kids that I came into contact with shortly after then made fun of my New York accent, so I worked my butt off to get rid of that sound. But I hear that still comes out every now and again, especially when I'm hanging out with friends like you.
Yeah, see, just when you said hanging out, that was
I can't help myself. So, Michelle, tell everybody where they can get a hold of you and what kind of things that you can help them with.
sure.
Just a little bit about your public presence and the public facing side.
Sure. So I do have a website. It's hartmetrics.com, HARTMETRICS.com. I do offer 30-minute free strategy calls just to kind of explore what people are looking for. I can help solopreneurs with strategic operations. I have a very strong operations background. So if they're looking for some strategies and how to, build, grow, or create different opportunities with their clients, can help with that. And then for the leadership and the career development, somebody is facing some roadblocks and just how do they level up? How do they better position themselves for greater jobs? Or even if they're looking to expand on their side hustle, I can
Mm.
help them with that.
How would you help someone like me who's like extremely talented but highly unemployable?
So first of all, we would explore why do you feel that you are highly unemployable?
It's not a feeling; it's a knowledge.
And so we would explore that because
Uh-huh.
I have had people who are concerned about being employed because of their age,
Hmm.
where they're located, what their talents are. One of the things, if I could say what clients have said about me, especially on the career side, is I open up opportunities of things to explore that they never thought of, industries that they didn't think of,
Right.
um, positions they didn't think of. So it do a lot of testing the waters of what their personality is, what their love and interests are as far as
Hmm.
what they like to do in their job. And we kind of go down that road.
Oh, that sounds good. Sounds like you got my answers.
Yeah, exactly. So I want to know what do you seem to be very talented. So why would you think you're unemployable?
Probably because I've been running my own show forever.
Oh, yeah. See, now if you say you're unemployable because you're running your own show, that makes sense
Right.
because lots of entrepreneurs do not want to become W-2 employees.
Right. Right. So that's where we would go, and that's where we will go in the future when we next speak.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, I want to
Exactly.
ask you, what's for dinner tonight?
We are beef eaters, so I don't know if you are, but
Oh yeah.
okay.
Oh yeah,
So
baby.
I have this layered, it's a slow cooker, but it also does layered quick meals.
Uh-huh.
And it's great. It actually does a lot of different things. So I just right before our call, I had sautéed some hot Italian sausage, and I made some homemade meatballs.
Oh,
No pasta or anything. I just put fresh tomatoes, red peppers, little garlic and sauce, and just put it in there. So it's just sitting in that pot. And then on the side for me, I have some broccolini.
oh wow. So it's like the best of a lasagna, no pasta.
Yeah.
Kind of all the greatest ingredients and toppings and
Yes.
deliciousness. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that sounds
Yeah.
great. Let's see, how long would it take me to get from here to there, I wonder? Save some for
It
me,
would
Michelle.
it would be really dried out by the time you got here,
Right,
unless
right,
you
right.
have a supersonic jet.
Not yet.
Not yet,
Um,
but you're working on it, right?
right, right, right. Well, that sounds great. That sounds
Yeah.
great. And I really, really want to thank you for coming on today. You're always so much fun to talk to.
Yes, same here, and I really appreciate it. It's been a pleasure. And thank you so much for the opportunity to talk about my business and how I help people. I think that somebody asked me, what's my value prop? And I said, ooh, that's a good question. Because, lots of people I know don't like that question of what's your pitch? Who's your, that whole standard. So I said, well, I could tell you this. I don't have those fancy letters after my name of PhD or master's or anything like that. I haven't written a bestseller book yet. Now I could say yet because I am thinking about writing a book.
Okay.
But what I can tell you is that I am a trustworthy partner for you that has worked very hard and will work hard for you and grit and the scars and the wounds of corporate America to help navigate. And I'm not looking to be the star of the show. I'm looking to be the director or the producer. So the spotlight is on my client for them to shine, not me.
There you go. You know the power position.
Yeah. So, but I said that naturally on a call with somebody. Goes, that's your value prop, and I'm like, okay, I have to now write it down and trademark it or something.
That's true. That is really a great sound.
Yeah.
Sound bit.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
Right. Well, thank you so much. We'll be in touch, and and everybody, I want you to check out Hartmetrics.com.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks, Michele. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.